Hey, what's up everyone? Today's video we're going to go over the bagging of my Charger. Wasn't able to film a lot of the suspension stuff while I was working on it just because I was in the dark and kind of on a time crunch being my daily driver. But anyway, I want to show you what I've done so far and what I've got left to do, and kind of just show that process. So let's go over to the trunk. So this is my setup. A little messy right now. It's not cleaned up. But so we've got a 4-gallon pancake tank here. We've got 2 Viair 400C compressors, and we've got all the wiring over here to get this thing all working. I have fired this up, and it did fill the tank, so I know we're good there. But the idea is that this will fit underneath the floor. We'll see. It's going to be kind of close, especially right here. This leader line sticks out a little longer than I thought, but I think it's going to clear. So the goal is for this to be completely hidden in the trunk, so my trunk is still useful. So, all right, now that I've got that out of the way, you can see the new shock towers, or the new shock, the top of the struts for the Airlift. I've got the suspension installed. Let me see if I need to bring a light. But there's the airbag, and then here's the strut, and there's the air fitting right there. I don't have any lines run for the air system yet. So that's today's mission. Well, today's mission is to be drivable. Get this light. So here's the strut, just 2 bolts holding it in right there, and then one at the bottom, and then the airbag. This isn't really going to be like a how-to or anything. If you can lower your car or just do any real suspension, like take out and put back in, then you're not going to have a problem with this. And the instructions from Airlift are pretty good. So here's the front bag. So the front is one piece. The back is 2 piece. So there's the strut and the bag at the top. It really opens up a lot of space in here without a big coil spring. It kind of looks like there's something missing. And then if we go up to the engine bay, yeah, I have the covers already back on, but with the adjustment knob, you can soften and harden the rebound and go in compression. I haven't messed with that. So that's basically it. So I got all 4 corners done, and I got the air management system in the car. So really the only thing left is to plumb it, and I guess we get the wheels in the car and see what happens. I'm a little concerned with the back with the 315s. I know with the proper offset you can make that work and tuck it, and I've actually saw that at Winterfest, but I don't know if I have that correct offset. So I need to I might call Airlift and ask them, because you can adjust right here. I didn't bring my light. This is threaded, and there's a ring here, so that's red. You can unloosen it, unbolt the bottom of the strut, and spin it to lengthen or shorten this. So the goal is to, when I air out, to not, crunch into this. So that should be interesting. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start running the lines, and while I'm running those, I'll film that and show you where I'm putting them. So we'll get working on that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we got the car all complete. Just to be upfront with you, this isn't the same day or even the next day or the next week from the previous footage. It's like a month later, so I'm kind of slacking. But I got the car all done, and it's been driving perfectly the last month or so. Probably not quite a month, but almost a month. And yeah, I don't have anything but good things to say about it so far. So let me go ahead and when I left off, the suspension was in the car, which, just to be clear, I didn't really get any footage of me installing it, and that is because of the time crunch I was on and doing it all by myself, and it just wasn't in the cards. I wanted to, but I didn't get around to it. But if you've ever lowered a car, you know, it's no different. You got to pull the suspension out, the spring, the strut, replace it. It's just bolt-in stuff. So easy stuff, especially, you know, if you've ever lowered a car before or replaced a strut or anything like that. So once I had that done, I just need to run the air lines. So you got to run an air line from each individual wheel, each individual bag, to your source. So you run it to the manifold, which in my case is in the trunk, which most people's is in the trunk. And so the manifold and my air tank and the compressors are all in the trunk. So basically, I'm going to try to show you how I ran it. I do have the car on the ground, so it's not going to be really easy to see, and it's kind of lazy. I thought about jacking the car up and taking the wheels off, but I just didn't really want to. Right now, suspension is at pretty much max lift. So you see that wheel gap there? And that is quite a bit higher than factory. So the ground clearance you get from going the bags is really impressive. So hopefully my days of scraping are behind me. As I said, this portion is about a month later than before. I have several additional modifications to the car that you might see on here, but we'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, there's the lift on the front. Right now I have the bag at 125 psi. That's like maximum pressure. And then I have my garage door closed because the sun, it's the afternoon, the sun is just beating on my house. I'm not even sure you'll be able to see this. Yeah, oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I think the front can lift a little higher than the back, but there's the lift on the back, also higher than stock. And what I ended up doing, see if I can get down here and show you. I don't know if I'll be able to. Okay, so you can see the leader line, the stainless line that runs off the bag, and then that goes up until I found a spot right here in the chassis. You can see that there's a hollow point there that I ran my I guess it's not rubber, maybe it is rubber, that I ran the actual airline in the chassis. So starting right there, made the connection, and then it runs, you know, all the way the length of the car, like inside of pretty much inside of the frame. And then I don't know if we'll be able to see it. You have to there's a panel right here that I took off, and it's running underneath that as well. But yeah, there's you can see the airline right there. Oh, I still got a tire wrap I didn't cut. Whoops. I'll go cut that now. So there's the airline. Goes under here. Ends up coming up, you know, around the cradle of the rear suspension, and then I just drilled a hole in the trunk and had it coming through the trunk. I'll show you that in a minute. It's not the most well, just say that part, if I could redo it, I would. It's not the best. And then I ran it that same way on both sides. And then, I don't know if we'll be able to see this. I can see the airline. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. You kind of have to know what you're looking for. But then I just ran the airline. I just made it take like a U-turn coming off the airbag back here. There's the airbag, but it just pretty much comes off the air fitting and then goes straight into the trunk. So I ran it that same way on either side. And let me go ahead and, I guess, lift the garage door. Good, there's no neighbors out listening to me talk to a camera. So here's the trunk, all back together. Before it was all in pieces. And so really you can't tell anything. Stock, right? And that's what I was going for. Trying to keep my trunk. So let me see if I can. Okay. So now that I have this lifted up, here's my 4-gallon pancake style air tank. 1 compressor, 2 compressor. I moved all the wiring. It was over here, now it's kind of tucked back here. You get a lot of extra since the battery is also in the trunk. You don't really use as much as you would if your battery was in the front. Here's my manifold. It's bolted down. You know, it's not doing anything glamorous, but you know, since it's hidden, I didn't see the need to do anything over the top. And then here's my airlines. You can see I drilled holes, and one of them has a rubber grommet, and the other ones are just have silicone around them to try to keep you know, any rubbing or anything like that from occurring. But and I haven't seen any issues with any degradation or anything like that of the line, so I think I'm okay. But you know, that's pretty much it as far as the setup. Just all the wiring just runs. Got a ground right here. Two power wires right here from each compressor, and the wiring harness here, and then there's a signal I have right here. I can't get the fuse box back on the way I have it. I'm gonna take like a Dremel and put like a little notch in my fuse box, and that will let me close that. So that's the car. That's the install. You know, I did have issues as far as once I got everything done. The driver's side front airbag was like completely depleting in like an hour of air. So I ended up finding at that stainless hose that I was showing you before, where my airline ran into it, it was leaking there. So I just unhooked it, made sure I recut the line, make sure it was perfectly straight, as straight as I can make it, and then I seated it really good into that quick push to connect fitting. And then it was also leaking the same way at the manifold. I did the same thing. Alright, it did connect. I don't know what that was all about. So here's my readings right now. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the my drive height. So you can see that. It's still, when it's flashing, it's still making its final adjustment, which it stopped. So there's my drive height. I'll have to get out in some nice lighting outside and finish this off. But so there's my ride height. I try to keep it pretty stock, just because now I have a front splitter on the car. I'll show you that later and whatnot. If I'm cruising into a meet and I want to look cool, there's a little bit lower. Okay, it's still working on it. And that's done. So, man. So there's the front. Let's see. Here's the rear. So that's my low setting. And then let's go ahead and hit air out. And my phone timed out the screen. So let me go back to the front so you can see that, and then we'll go look at the rear. Okay. Okay, and then you can see it's kind of just dropping. So, front's aired out. And then the back, with the 315s, I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to tuck. But there's my 315. I mean, it's in there. So, tucks quite well. Yeah, that's a pretty good view. So, this car is pretty much laying on the ground now. And how I have it set is there's my ride height PSI. I got something coming up. I need to jack my front up so I don't damage the front of my car. There's my low setting, and yeah. So the only thing that's been a little aggravating so far is that apparently it's just how Airlift, they say it's working fine. The front bags make a pretty loud popping noise when you air back up, but apparently it's because it's a double bellow bag, and when it airs out it kind of folds on itself. When you reinflate it, the popping sound is the bag popping back out after it was folded in. So I don't know. Let's see if I can. It's connected to Bluetooth right now. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you heard that, but that's just, I just went up to the ride height, and see, you can hear the air compressor maybe. So, ready to roll. So I'll try to put in a few more clips of the car outside with it going up and down and whatnot, showing off the air suspension. But yeah, so far it was definitely a large investment, but it's been one that I've been happy with so far, and would definitely do it again. I don't know if I'd want to install it again because that was kind of a bear, but pretty happy with it. So. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and roll in the other footage of the car out and about, maybe just in my work parking lot or something, to show you what it can do. So, all right. Technology, we didn't have that when we were growing up. A little air out for the gas station people. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up now. It's getting close to 20 minutes long, and I don't want to make it too long. Plus, there'll be definitely more videos on the suspension of the car coming up. So anyway, thanks for watching if you're still here, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment, and you know, that would be awesome. So with that being said, I'm gonna have another one coming up pretty soon, and we're gonna keep the content flowing. So thanks for watching. See you.